Hey everybody, we're back in the Bible reading plan and we're in Revelation chapter 1 today. And if you made it this far on the Bible reading plan, congratulations. We are on our final book in the Bible. And this is the scariest book, the book a lot of Christians avoid. And I think it's for a wrong reason, and I think it's Satan's doing that we avoid this. First of all, the book is called Revelation. It's Jesus Christ's revelation to the church, to the followers of Jesus. It's the only book in the Bible that really says, read me, right? Like, read this now. Here's a revelation. I'm giving you a revelation. And also, it's also a different book because most of what we have read so far is history. It's things that have happened in the past. And we're going to read a lot of things that will come, things that are to come, are to take place. We're reading prophecy. So guess what? This is the future. This is future telling right here, things that will come to pass. And I think it's sad that a lot of Christians do avoid this. It is a scary thing, but I think listen to the enemy, and we just don't want to think about the end times. We don't want to think about this future, and we think about it as a bad thing, but it's not. It's actually a great thing, and I hope you see that in this book. And I also want to warn you, this is a book of symbolism, which means John, the author of this book, who copied down what Jesus wanted him to copy down, he writes a lot of symbolism, a lot of numbers that symbolize certain things, a lot of, say, sevens that symbolize certain things, and there's a lot of symbolism, a lot of metaphor in this. It's called apocalyptic literature. He uses these signs, metaphors, and numbers to stand for maybe something that we can't comprehend or we don't understand. It's not any secret code to the day that Jesus is coming back. It's not that cheap. It's not a secret code or a crossword puzzle that we're trying to figure out. It's truth, and it is apocalyptic literature. So this is written by John, who we believe is the Apostle John, the beloved apostle, who is in old age. He is banished to the island of Patmos. He is exiled, and it's probably a time where all of the other apostles are gone and martyred, and John is left on this island, and he gets this revelation from Jesus. And in verse 1, it says, the revelation of Jesus Christ. I mean, that we need to read this. We don't need to avoid this. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show his servants. Guys, if we're avoiding this, then it's nothing but the enemy's work. It's the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave to show him to show his servants. Like, we are to show this. This should be one of the first books we read when we become Christians. Like, God is showing you this word. He wants you to see it. It says it in the first verse, and I think it's important to see this ending, to see where we're going, because if you think about it, roadways, right? If a highway goes to an important place, then the highway is going to be maintained well, it's going to be kept up, and it's going to be nice and clean. If a highway or a road goes to nowhere, maybe a dead end, what's going to happen to that road? It will not be kept up. It will not be a nice road. It's going to be dirty and broken, and no one's going to really care for it. So it's the same thing with our lives. If we know what the end is, if we know where we're going, then our lives are going to be a lot cleaner and holier and righteous because we're working for a future. But we are so focused on the present, and the world will say, oh, focusing on this will take you away from the present. But no, if we have our mind in the future, then in the present we can be preparing for what we know is to come. And verse 1 continues. It says, the things that must soon take place. If this is the first century, then in the 21st century, we should be even more ready, even more expecting that these things are to take place soon. These events are to take place soon. How much longer can Jesus tarry? How much longer can he wait? In this book, we're going to see the first part of this book, the first 3 chapters, we're going to see Jesus giving warnings to the 7 churches. It says he sees Jesus, someone like a son of man, with 7 stars and lampstand with 7 candles on it. And this represents the angels of the 7 churches, and it represents the 7 churches. The lampstand represents the 7 churches. So he's going to go one by one and critique and show where these churches need to correct and say, you're living for the end. You need to correct this. You need to get right with the Father before this all comes to pass. And this is what a lot of scholars would say dispensationalism, which means that we need to first and foremost read this in the context that it was written. So the church of Laodicea, the church of Ephesus, we need to read this in the context like Jesus was talking to this specific church. But also in this theology of dispensationalism, this has something that could be talking about a future church or a future thing. And we're going to get and touch on a lot of that. But this video has been a big just throw up of preparation for Revelation. I'm sure that's why it is scary, but I want to read a little more. In verse 4, he says, John to the 7 churches that are in Asia, grace to you and peace from him who is and was and who is to come, and from the 7 spirits who are before his throne, and from Jesus Christ, the faithful witness, the firstborn of the dead, and the rulers of kings on earth. He's the firstborn from the dead because he is the first one to receive that risen body, the resurrected body. He is the first fruits of the sacrifice on the cross. He shows us the first resurrected body, and Paul says, like him, we also will receive a real resurrected body. That doesn't mean we're going to be detached from our body and live in the spiritual sense, but we're going to have true physical bodies when we're resurrected in heaven with God. And Jesus makes this proclamation. He says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, says the Lord God, who is and was and is to come. And in verse 17, he says, when I saw him, I fell at his feet as though dead, but he laid his right hand on me, saying, fear not, I am the first and the last and the living one. I died, and behold, I am alive forevermore. I have the keys of death and Hades. See, Jesus is coming. He's come once not to judge, but to show mercy, to give his life as a ransom for many. And when he comes back, he's going to come as a judge, as someone who's going to reclaim his people. He's coming back not to sacrifice, but to make himself low, but to lead and to take his that are his own. And we always need to be prepared for Jesus coming back, because he was, he is, and he is to come. He is the future. He is the only thing that truly matters. So we need to be preparing our life for Jesus. And, on top of that, we as we go through this book, we need to be looking every chapter, and even though there's going to be some crazy language and crazy metaphor and things we don't necessarily understand and we can't understand, and no matter what you believe about this book, there's someone smarter than you that believes something totally different. So what I want you to do during this Bible reading plan, Revelation, I want you to ask every chapter, what does this show me about Jesus? What does this show me about Jesus and what I can do here and now to prepare for his coming? But thank you for joining me in Revelation 1, and I hope we have a fruitful time in the book of Revelation, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.